Welcome to our next video. As we go back into the Celtic world, we might not go in the direction you expect, but let's see what we can learn in this video. We're going to use a source we have mentioned on the channel before, but now we're going to try go into greater detail to go further with it. Okay, this source is speaking about a Cassie sailor prince leaving an inscribed monument in the Don Valley of Scotland around 400 BC. So for our geography, this country here is called Scotland. So we have a monument or an altar being left in Scotland around 400 BC by a prince. But the interesting part for this is that he describes himself as a Phoenician, a Hittite, a Beirut, and even a Kaz. So this is really going to open up our research for this exploring the Celtic world. Now he's leaving this monument to the fire god Beeri. So Beeri or Baal, but we know from the Bible as Baal. I think that's how you say it. So if we go to the book of Judges, it says, "They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshipped various gods of the peoples around them. They aroused the Lord's anger because they forsook him and served Baal and the Ashtaroths." So the Israelites serving Baal because of the people around them. And these people around them would be, the Canaanite tribes. Not just Canaan would be involved in this worship, but we do know that the Canaanites were, worshipping Baal. And now we see a prince who we could describe as a Canaanite, because he's describing himself as a Hittite, and we know Het is a son of Canaan, son of Ham. So now it's fire worship coming into Britain. So is it the Phoenicians or the Canaanites bringing this fire worship into Britain? And that's going to lead into this word here, because if we just introduce the scholar of this work we're going to use, so L. Austin Waddell, it's called The Phoenician Origin of the Britons, Scots and the Anglo-Saxons. It is quite a hard read. I've said that before. It's very detailed. It's quite not an easy read. But there's I just want to show you this image. So I think this is the altar that we just read about. It says Baal, the god of the sun, and the father god of the Phoenicians. Just so we can see what we're looking at for this altar. And it's been left in Scotland around 400 BC. So a Hittite presence in Scotland, but remember we are speaking about a prince. So I want to focus on that because we did speak in the previous video about royalty, princes. And we also wanted to try get some sort of an idea of an identity. We said, if the Celts didn't call themselves Celts, what would they call themselves? So we're trying to get some sort of an idea of an identity, and now we're actually getting an identity. We have Phoenician, we have Hittite, and we even have Beirut. And according to this scholar of that source that we just went to, this word Beirut could be where we're getting Briton from, and Britannia. So is he calling himself a Briton? So the Celtic Britons. And then we know we get this it's coming down to us even with Great Britain. So this is very interesting because it seems that they are using this name and bringing this name where they go, because we even have regions of France carrying this name. We have Brittany or Britannia. Let me just show you. So this region of France carrying this name Britannia, and we can see it on this map, this migration of the Britons. So parts of France and Galicia, Spain. We spoke about that, as we were starting to build up into this Celtic world, about the Galicia and the Gauls for Spain. But notice the Armorica in this region of Britannia. Now, when you see Armorica, what comes to my mind is Amor, son of Canaan, so the Amorites. So is it Amorites moving into this region as well? And I think that's fair to ask when we see archaeological evidence of Phoenicians coming into this region. And the Amorites would be a brother nation to the Hittites. So we're getting some sort of an identity here for this Celtic world with the Britons. And we see a migration. So where is this migration coming from? Like the origin, that would be important. But I also noticed this name, the potential of this name with the mythology. If we go back to the mythology, we were speaking about the origin of this word Celt or Keltoi. Could it actually be a prince in the mythology? So a prince coming from Hercules, from Zeus. But notice we have a Bretonus. Let me just try to keep it simple. That we do have this name Bretonus in this mythology of this royal family, let's say. So that could be interesting as well, that we've seen this name. But there's another character in the mythology where we could be getting this name Briton from, and this is Brutus of Troy, also called Brute. So is this where we're getting that English idea of, don't be a brute, don't be brutal. Now Brutus is a legendary descendant of the Trojan hero Aeneas. Okay, so we're dealing with legendary history. So a descendant of the Trojan hero Aeneas, and we have spoken about Aeneas on the channel before. So the Trojan Aeneas is connected with the legendary founding of Rome and the Etruscans. So we have the Trojans being connected with the founding of Rome, and we spoke about the Sea Peoples in this region. Could it be connected with the Sea Peoples and the Trojans? Now we have Brutus of Troy, who is a descendant of Aeneas, coming into this region of Britain and being called the first king of Britain. So is that name Britain being connected to Brutus? But then we see this element, is this element coming from Beirut? So Beirut and Brutus. We're not going to go through the story of Brutus. You can always look at that if you'd like to. Just the basis of it is that he's going to discover a new Troy, because Troy was destroyed by the Greeks. So we have like different new Troys, if you think about it, because you would have, Aeneas and his descendants founding Rome. So that could be like a new Troy. But then you also have Brutus coming to Britain. And then according to the mythology, London would be the new Troy for the Trojans. So again, we have more now to think about. So like I said, it's starting to open up. We have the Phoenicians to think about, the Hittites, the Beirats or the Britons, but now also how are the Trojans a part of this? Now, thinking about the etymology and following this word, we're thinking Beirut, we're thinking Briton, the Britons. We're seeing the potential for this name in the mythology with Bretonos, and now even with Brutus. But we also see this name coming from, let's say, the Holy Land, because we have Beirut. Well, what I should say is I don't know for sure. Let me just say that I'm just looking at the similarity, seeing the similarity for Beirut. Now this is Beirut, the capital and the largest city of Lebanon. I just find it interesting, why do we have to have 2 pages? So we have this page on Beirut, but then we have another page for historical Beirutus. So I just find that interesting, why do we need 2 pages? So historical Beirutus and then Beirut. But we can see if we go down to the etymology, the similarity. You see Beirut, and yeah, does seem to be a similar etymology to Beirut, giving us the Britons, according to the scholar. And then I was thinking also, well, I'm not that I thought of it, but reading and learning another way we could connect this name to actually the Bible, because in the Bible we have Beeri the Hittite. Let's just read about Beeri the Hittite, because we learn about Beeri from actually Esau. It says, when Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemeth, daughter of Elon the Hittite. So if you are following our What Do We Know About Esau or Edom series, this is now something else for us to think about. That Esau is marrying into Beeri the Hittite. We're now starting to see another dimension, we could say, to the Hittites, because are they connected to the British Isles with the Britons? So that's something to think about. And this name could be connected to Beirut and Beirut, because we see here it says Beeri could be my well. And if we go back to the page on Beirut and look at the etymology, it says it could have the meaning of wells. So that seems like it could be connected. But notice they say this could be in reference to the site's water table. They're not looking, could it be connected to Beeri the Hittite? So we're looking at, well, let me just say how that actually could make sense. That could Beeri, this person in the Bible who is a Hittite, be influencing the naming of Beirut? And then we see also with the archaeology, a prince, calling himself a Hittite and a Beirut. So we do see that connection with the Hittites and this identity of Briton or Beirut, but it even could be influencing Beirut. And it is also interesting that we have a Beirut in Germany. So why do we have Beirut in Germany? So just exploring, it's like an exploration, and then we will try see if we can find things to support it or help with our understanding while we're seeing these names coming, let's say, from the Holy Land, into Germany, and even the naming potentially of Britain itself, Great Britain. So a very interesting video, I think, because we've got lots now to consider, looking for an identity for the Celts. Now, I think we also need to say that we haven't actually seen the name Celt mentioned. So that's why I kind of try to have some sort of an idea for the series, which is not that we're specifically trying to learn about the Celts. So like a Celtic world. So who could be in this Celtic world? It might not necessarily be what we were expecting. Yeah, so that was kind of why I wanted to have this broad title, because now we have lots of things to try explore. So we're going to, in the next video, try to think about what do we know about the Hittites? What have we learned about the Hittites, and try to put it together in one video or two videos, because I think that could be important, trying to learn about the Hittites, because they do seem to come up a lot in our research. We see the Hittites mentioned a lot, so that'll be our next video. So yeah, let me know what you think of this one and those connections, and we'll see you in the next video.